everyone, welcome to my channel Fresh Start Canada. My name is Vrunda Patel and I'm going to be with you in every phase of your job search journey until you land your dream job or first job in Canada. Being a newcomer or an immigrant, I know how hard it is to start from zero in an entire new country, as well as being away from your loved ones, your family, your parents, and everyone, right? Leaving the lifestyle back in your country and starting from zero in a new country. For that, hats off to you and three claps for you. That because not everyone can do that. You are courageous, you are bold enough to take that step, right? So my channel Fresh Start Canada is focusing on people like you who are courageous and who are willing to land their job in Canada, who want to get settled and succeed in Canada. But the journey is not easy. I totally understand and relate with you. But I'm here with you because I know how it feels, right? So, my channel Fresh Start Canada is basically saying that when life gives you lemons, make a lemonade. That is, whenever you face a rejection or a failed interview or any little failure that comes on your way, just take all of them, grab all of them, squeeze all of them, and make a lemonade. Start something fresh and new, right? So in today's video, we are going to discuss about top 5 common interview questions. I would request everyone to watch till end because there are tips and tricks that will help you succeed and shine in your interview. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started.
So, without wasting much time, let's get started for the discussion of top 5 most common interview questions. First is tell me about yourself. You might be aware of this question and it might sound little basic, but sometimes it's very difficult to answer in an interview because you never know what's the intention of employer to ask this question. What's the basic information or I mean the skill or anything an employer is looking to hear from you. So there are some tips and purpose for this tell me about yourself question. First purpose is how do you communicate? So interviewer want to see that how well you communicate, how you represent yourself as in terms of what you believe of yourself and how do you represent or market yourself in front of others. And also the purpose is something that is not in your resume because your education, your experience, number of years of experience, as well as where you are working now. These are the things that are already mentioned in your resume. So, employer might be looking for something that is not in your resume, a particular skill that aligns to the job position, and how can you enhance this position, right? So, and some tips to answer this question. First is be clear and confident enough because this is the question they are asking about you. So you should be clear and confident. Second is don't ramble. Don't ramble means don't give some insequential answer. For example, you start with your number of years of experience and where are you working currently now, and then you say, okay, my name is Vrinda Patel, like that. So don't give the answer in sequentially. Make sure that you have something in your mind, right? Just to be sequential and don't tremble at all. Third is practice but don't memorize. As you know, these are the questions that can be asked in any interview, but that doesn't mean that you have to memorize the answers, right? Because of course you need to practice, but you can't memorize the answer. Because when you speak memorize answer in an interview, or if you speak like, okay, my name is Vrinda Patel and like this, but that doesn't look good. It seems like you are chanting something that you have already memorized, right? So that creates a bad impression. Fourth is current position and key achievement slash certification. So you have to make sure that any key achievement that is aligning you for the role, and you see and you feel like, okay, this will increase my chance to get hired. You make sure that you have to highlight that skill or maybe put some volume on that particular skill, that okay, or highlight that skill in front of employer while speaking, that okay, this makes you more perfect for the job rather than others. Now let's go to the next question. Second is, why should we hire you? So this question is something where employer wants to know what's something that makes you differ from other. Is there any particular skill that it's only in you and not in the others, or is the way of your working or that learning spirit that differs you from others? So purpose of this question is, first, how qualified you are for the job. It doesn't matter about academic qualifications or number of experience, but more than that, it matters what's your mindset and how do you work, right? Second is good fit for the company. So they will ask you some of the questions based on your vision as well as goals for long term, and they also want to see what are the responsibilities or the things that you're doing on the daily basis at your workplace right now. So this will tell employer to that this will tell employer that okay, you are a good fit for a company or not. Third is, how do you market yourself? So this question is relevant to tell me about yourself. So how do you market yourself? That means how do you sell yourself? So tips to answer these questions: first is showcase your skills slash experience. So you have to make sure that you showcase skills that are relevant to the job posting itself, and what is your relevant experience. Second is achievements. You have to make sure that you are telling them or focusing on the achievements that you have that are relevant to the job. Third is passion and motivations. And fourth and most important one is study the job posting and quantify skills based on your experience. For example, in your current job, you are into a project where you have increased the user friendliness in the project or the website, and you will be like, okay, I am working in a project and user friendliness has been increased due to my efforts, and you, but this won't make much impact until and unless you quantify it. For example, there is a number where you have seen, like from the past point, how much it is increased. For example, I have increased the user friendliness by 25%. So make sure you quantify the skills or quantify the experience or responsibilities you currently have. Let's move on to the next question. What interests you about this role? So, purpose of asking this question is to see how interested you are for this role, or are you just giving interview for the sake, I mean, just for fun or something, right? So you have to make sure to convey that interest or level of interest to an interviewer. Second is your understanding of the role and company, and how you can achieve this understanding. So there are two things. First, research the trends of the organization. Second, do research on the LinkedIn page, Indeed page, as well as website, and look for the values and what are the current things happening at the organization. And second is, thoroughly go through the job description and see that okay, you are not missing anything. You have to make sure that you know everything an interviewer wants as a fit for the company. Third is, check your values align with the company or not. So there are some core values of yours while working, and you have to make sure that your values are aligning with the company or not. So tips to answer this question, as I said, research the company and the role. Second is, avoid generic answers. So you have to avoid generic answers. So what does a generic answer mean? So generic answer is something like, okay, I am very interested in this role because it is good for my professional growth and I'm looking forward to learn from here. So this is like a generalized answer or generalized answer. So you have to make sure that you do not respond in a generic way. You have to make it personal and give a personalized touch. Third is, avoid answers emphasizing job perks. So you have to make sure that you are not saying something about benefits of the role or benefits, job benefits that a role is giving or that organization is giving. Yeah. Fourth is professional growth aligning with your current responsibilities. For example, you are a senior developer right now, right, at your current organization, and you are looking something to lead. You are looking to be a lead developer where, or lead team lead, where you can lead people. So this is the example you can say, like, what are your values and what are the things that you want to do in future, and how this job role helps to do that. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Fourth is, what are your strengths and weaknesses? This is very tricky question, because the purpose of this question is, first, how self aware you are. So interviewer wants to know how self aware you are. I mean, how well you know yourself. Do you identify your strengths and weaknesses? Second, how you cope up with your weakness, and how do you apply your strengths for the role. So there is no single person in this world that won't have weaknesses, right? Everyone has weaknesses as well as strengths. Some people are good in something and some people are not, right? So you have to make sure that you identify your weakness and work on that, as well as apply your strengths in a proper way. So tips: first is, do not over exaggerate. So do not over exaggerate about anything, right? Even in the strength and even in the weakness. I have seen people responding like, okay, I have no weakness. That is not correct at all. Every person has a weakness as well as strength. Second, be honest. You have to be honest, and that's the only key to succeed in an interview. Third, how you are improving your weakness. So for example, my weakness is procrastination. Okay, so if I am asked this question, what are your weaknesses, and I'll say, I used to procrastinate a little. You have to say, you used to, I mean, in the past tense, and how you are working on that. You have to give an example for coping that weakness. For example, I used to procrastinate a little during my university's days. I used to keep delaying assignments till last date. But then after a point of time in my life, I understood that procrastination doesn't work lot beneficial for your growth, right? So then after I decided to give the daily deadlines to complete the task, set up the daily reminders, and make sure I be truthful to myself. And I think now I am quite better with procrastination, and I am improving a lot. Something like that, right? So you have to make sure that your weakness, as well as how you are improving or how you are working on it, should accompany your answer. Fourth is example showcasing up strengths, right? So for example, I would give an example. I love dealing with challenges, and I think I am strong enough to deal with a challenging task. You will say that, but you have to give an example showcasing that, okay, you are actually working on that, or you are already implementing your strength in your current workplace. So for example, when a challenging task comes in the project, what I do, I mark the challenging task, and and apply divide and conquer strategy. So what is divide and conquer strategy? So I break down the challenging task into different several smaller tasks, and give them a priority, what task needs to go first and what task needs to be done later. So give them a priority, as well as work on them consistently, and thereby assign my bigger thereby what to say, achieve my bigger goal, right? So this is kind of example you can give to answer your strength. Let's move on to your next question. Where do you see yourself in next 5 years? This is the question to know your vision, how far you can think or how narrow your thinking is. Second is, the employer wants to know your long term goals, and how this company or role can fit into you, and how your long term goals can be achieved by this role. Tips: first is, demonstrate your ability to learn and grow. You have to make sure that you are showcasing them that, okay, you are eager to learn, and you are a quick learner. Second is be realistic. You won't be like, okay, I want to be CEO of Google in next 5 years. That doesn't sound realistic. So you have to make sure that your long term goals should be aligned with your professional growth, but that should be realistic enough. Third, show interest in the role. You have to make sure that you are telling about your long term goals, making sure that you are aligning your long term goals to the role you are interviewing for. Fourth is, do not underestimate yourself. That means you cannot limit your thinking in terms of goals. Like right now you are a junior developer, and in the next 5 years you want to be a developer, like that, a developer, senior developer. But you have to make sure that you think big, like a lead developer or a team lead in next 5 years. But you have to make sure that you are very realistic in terms of everything. So I think that is it from today's video. So if you like this information, please hit that like button, subscribe button, and share this video to maximum people, because for Fresh Start Canada's focus is to reach maximum people. And yes, I am improving, and please share your feedback in the comment box below, and any topics you want me to cover ahead. Thank you so much. Namaste.